might have dogs, you might have, you know, a whole life that you're holding, but you still don't find yourself worthy of it. Get it? So in that case, for me, what worked was my client right now. Ever since I started working with him, making a difference, that has completely changed my suicidal thoughts. Now I don't think about them, and whenever I do, it's like I can't leave him behind. I won't give up, because before I just wanted to give up on life, not on the people that I loved or that loved me. I wanted to give up on life itself.
But what's the difference between the people in her life and this little boy?
That she doesn't have, like, she has a connection with the little boy, and even though she has a connection with her family, because I noticed she...
Go a step further.
No, because
what does the little boy...
I feel useful to him.
Yeah.
He needs her.
Yeah.
He needs her. He's autistic. He needs her. Someone needs to do that job. And what did I tell you? Our needs are never met as children. Our needs are not met as children. So now she feels needed.
I have never missed a day of work, ever.
But see how she used had with her family members, and now she uses have.
Right.
Like,
And she's in the present.
Yeah.
She's in the present.
Yeah.
But her grandparents didn't need her. Her parents didn't need her. Your aunt needed you a little. And I think that that really destroyed you when you lost her. But this little boy needs her. So there are times that our dharma is to take care of those that need us. And that's one of the things we'll find in our profession. Our clients don't need us, and we don't want them to need us. We want to make them independent. But I've said before, people drawn to this field are all narcissists. Okay? And so we need to be needed. Yes, Trisha, it's true, including me. We are. There's something in us that needs to feel useful. It's okay as long as we're aware that the client can leave at any time, that that's not our only, value, and that ultimately the client is changing themselves, that we're not doing anything.
But what if, because I'm still learning to listen.
We all are.
Yeah. But you made a good point. Like, people feel like it's okay to just to express themselves. And I noticed that with me working at my job, because half of the times I don't be wanting to hear what they have to say, especially when it was about the suicide. Like, that really touched the nerve due to the fact that now there's something on my head. Like, what if she would have, that's what I kept thinking, like, what if she actually do go take the pill? She was a doctor. This is like, shit, you got your hands on stuff. So in my head, it just, what goes on up here? But that's not something I wanted to hear. That ain't something I did volunteer to hear, because I asked her what was wrong. I did. That was
Well,
on
as a professional, we have a responsibility. And we have to report if someone will harm, if we think someone will harm themselves or others.
That's the law as a
However,
therapist.
that's law.
I ain't no therapist.
Okay.
I wasn't even done with school.
Okay, okay, and therefore, is it not the same thing that you need to be needed? Now you've heard this.
You also have to remember that the reason they're saying that is because, one, they need somebody to know, and two, they trust you.
Yeah, which is a problem at my job. Like, I love kids. Y'all know I love kids. So I do talk to the younger residents. And it's just like, to hear some of the stuff they go through and their parents do not know, and it's just be like, damn, do I want to break our bond and the loyalty or the trust you have in me? Because there have been several times I just be the parent walk in the door and I just be,
Well,
I just be having to breathe.
I
Like,
think
it
it's an ethical
hurts.
issue,
It's hard.
and it's
And
very
it depends
hard.
on your role.
It's your role, you're feeling morally and ethically. It depends on where you are. I mean, obviously, if it's something that's going to harm the child,
Yeah.
it's, you have to weigh your options. If it's
And-
gonna be something that's dangerous or,
Right,
know.
and you should have a code of ethics or rules for your particular job.
Mhm.
That's why we have a code of ethics in counseling. That's why we have a scope of practice. That's why we refer out when we feel we're not competent for a person.
Yeah, you have your own set of values, like we've talked
There
about
has
in
to
the
be
past.
rules in your job
We
to
will,
protect you and them.
yeah, and so when you have a client and they begin to talk about issues that you cannot help them with, then it's up to you to refer, to be honest with your client.
Two things though, if someone is feeling that way and they come to you and tell you, that's because they don't really want to do it. They just wanna like let it out and say it.
I
And
felt
maybe
that.
just by releasing it, they're
I
like,
felt
you know
that
what?
with a lady, but at the same time, it's just like I thought of other stuff she have told me, because she didn't have to tell me then. I stopped her. Like, I was making her talk due to the fact that I'm not with some of the residents. There are those I just high and by to, and then there are those like I'm gonna actually stop you and ask you what's wrong because you don't look yourself or what's bothering you. Oh, nothing. You're lying. Like, I'm gonna tell you. So it's like that day I did ask for that. Now that I think of it. I really did ask for that because I'm not used to her coming in sad or whatever. I'm used to her coming in and telling me about her problems with the husband and what's going on with that. But I was never used to her coming in with tears in her eyes. So it's like that day it was just like it got to me. Like, I felt like she just needed to let it out and she was trying to express herself because, like you said, we all need somebody to talk to.
And sometimes that's it.
Yeah.
We're just holding space for someone and just listening.
Right.
Sometimes that's all we're doing, and that's enough.
Give her a hug. Too. You could do that.
I did.
And then you can ask yourself, why did this enter my life?
I want to know that for a lot of stuff. That's my problem. I always want to know why.
Okay? So you start looking at yourself. You start doing self-reflection. That's why therapists should be in therapy.
And the why may not come right away.
I learned that.
You know, months from now, you'd be like, oh, right,
Exactly.
now I know.
That's why we journal. That's why we write things down. Because there's a reason it comes into our life. And so therapists should be in therapy so that you have someone to bounce these things off of. Why did a particular session or situation enter my life? And supervision. One of the things you're going to do in your master's program is you're going to have supervision. You're going to be required to have supervisors. And you're going to go and talk to them about your clients. And your supervisor, if he or she is good, will bring that up. Why is this coming into your life? What need of yours was being fulfilled when you're talking to this resident? And again, it may not come immediately. It could be months, it could be years, because you may not be ready to see a certain thing in yourself. I've noticed lately that my clients are getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Like, at points that I didn't think I could get any deeper with clients, now they're getting deeper, deeper, and deeper. Because I'm going deeper and deeper and deeper. More masks have been removed. So I'm being more honest with myself. And I'm looking at things that perhaps before I couldn't look at. Not because I didn't want to, because I wasn't ready. So now I've been getting these really intense clients.
And also remember that when people go through these very, very difficult times, once they're through it, it's like light at the end of the tunnel. They start to be more truthful and live more real. And that will, I believe, make them happier. So they have to go through all of that to get to the other side. There is another side. There is an end.
That's
at
probably
the
why I
end.
want to work with kids. Like,
Who remembers these terms?
It's hard. It's very hard.
This is symbol. It's another form of symbol. Who remembers the fat cow, skinny cow?
Yeah. You're gonna have like every 7 years.
Every 7 years, you're gonna have a skinny cow. So this is a story, and I share these stories with clients. This is a story from the Bible where Joseph was thrown into a ditch and sold into slavery by his brothers. And after many hardships, he was asked for the king of Egypt to interpret a dream. And the dream was of these skinny cows eating these fat cows. And the king of Egypt, or the Pharaoh, was going crazy trying to figure out what this dream meant. And Joseph interpreted it for him. And he said, there's going to be 7 years of a lot of abundance, the fat cows in Egypt. There's going to be a lot of grain, there's going to be a lot of food. But then there's going to be 7 years of skinny cows, where we're going to have no grain and we're going to have no food. If you take the fat cows, the really good years, and save, then we will have enough food for the skinny cows for those 7 years where there's no food, and everybody in Egypt will have food to eat. And that's what he did, and he saved the country, and he became king of Egypt. Someone who had been thrown into a ditch by his brothers, sold to slavery, accused of, hitting on this guy's wife. Like, he had gone through all of these hardships. When you go through a hardship, your skinny cow, and I will talk like this just to clients. I will tell them a story like this, and I'll be like, you're in a skinny cow period. And if they're in a fat cow, which most people do not come when they're in a fat cow period because they're feeling good about themselves, but if it's somebody who's been in psychotherapy for many years, it could be that they're going through a good time, or in certain things, then you teach them to save or to learn or to live authentically for when there is a skinny cow. You teach them those mindfulness techniques, you teach them meditation, you teach them journaling, you teach them these strategies so that when they're in a skinny cow, they have coping skills. But basically, when we have a skinny cow, you're going through really hard times. You're gonna get out of that, because eventually come the fat cows, and eventually come the skinny cows, and every 7 years we're going through these cycles. You become more authentic. You become more of your true self. You release more of your masks. And this is important to tell the person. Skinny cows force you to change, force you to transform, force you to find strength in yourself that you didn't know you had. I got a text from a client yesterday whose mother has pancreatic cancer, and she goes, "You are more amazing than I ever thought." She's like, "I can't believe you went through this twice." She goes, "I'm not even the cancer patient, I'm just the cancer family member, and I feel like I'm going to die. And I can't see it. I can't see it. I'm down on myself right now." But something like that, I was like, thank you so much. It's something I took away for another day, for a day where I might need to be uplifted. And that's what we're doing. We're helping clients through their skinny cow periods. But they're gonna come out more authentic, or you're gonna end up with a job and this little boy who needs you, and you're gonna figure out, wait a minute, I do have a purpose. That's why I love Viktor Frankl. And I brought in that book, Man's Search for Meaning, a while back. He survived the Holocaust, and he had to find meaning. That's the existential school. He had to find meaning in what he experienced. Skinny cows force us to find meaning in our life. There has to be a reason I am here. I did not survive cancer twice. I did not go through this divorce. I did not, my kids are gone. I did not go through all of this for no reason. I just can't believe that. I just can't. I have to know that somewhere there's something that this was all for. Because that's just my belief. Not everybody believes that. My therapist doesn't believe that. My therapist says, no, you were just, given a raw deal. This sucks.
He sucks or she sucks.
No, that's okay. That's her belief system, and I'm fine with it. But I have my own belief system. So we're not always going to be 100% in alignment with our therapist. But I have to believe for me to keep going and not commit suicide, that there's something more. And then these words, you guys remember Chronos versus Kairos? Okay, Chronos and Kairos are two Greek words that mean time. And Chronos is chronological time, like the time on our clock, where Kairos is opportune time. Oftentimes, when clients come to therapy, they're in a state of Kairos. There's an opportune time for them to start to change. And it's oftentimes when people feel their life is slowed down. They don't have a meaning. They're not doing anything. They just got fired from a job. They just, took their kids to college. I'm kind of feeling like, what's my purpose? I love teaching. I love teaching astrology. Oh, by the way, starting Monday nights in a couple weeks, I'm going to be teaching astrology here. If you guys want to come, from A to Z. So I posted it on the website, 7 to 9.
Night or morning?
Nighttime.
Nighttime?
Nighttime. Yeah. So normally I teach individual, and it's really expensive, but I'm doing a very reduced price. And if you guys want to come, just let me know, because the students won't pay. Okay. So if you're interested, it's a really great tool for clients. Really great. And we're doing little bits and pieces here. And today we'll do some elements. What time is it?
10:15.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll start with
So
elements.
right now I'm in Kairos.
Well, it's the same word, just has two meanings. So this is like Chronos, I just asked her the time.
No,
But
yeah.
Kairos is an opportune time, it could be. You can all be in Kairos right now.
I say the reason why is because I came back to school.
Okay.
I'm showing my son. And this is helping me futuristically, like you said earlier. They're not going to be with you all the time, like your stuff.
So you're utilizing your time wisely to grow, to change. And oftentimes, during those moments of Kairos that you feel like your life has stood still, I kind of feel like my life is at a standstill. Like, really, what's my purpose? What am I doing? It is a Kairos time. It's the opportune time to do the inner work. It's the opportune time to slow down and look at yourself. Okay? And we learn these things in therapy. And these are examples that you can use with your client. You
I'm
can
also
explain to
slapping
them.
my mom in the face because I'm going for my bachelor's. So something she didn't believe I would ever do.
Okay.
So it's a loud slap in her face when I get that freaking diploma
That's the
in my hand.
opportune time to be
Yep.
revengeful.
But in a good way, you see, it's a positive way.
So I opened up to the symbol, the key. When we think of a key, what do we think of?
Entrance.
Door.
Entrance, doors, a keyhole, a way in. Okay, so in your symbol dictionary, put key and the words that it represents to you. And this is something that you could do to a client or for a client or with a client. You can give them a homework to go to Home Depot and buy a key and to keep it on their keychain. Or get themselves a little key locket or
I
charm
have one.
and put it on. And remind them that there's always a new entrance. Remind them that there's always a door to enter.
I'm curious, why do you have a key, Nellie?
Oh, actually, that's from when I was a baby, like a toddler. I had this with another necklace, but it's so old it just like fall apart. So I bought a new chain and always kept it with me.
Okay,
And
but
a lot of
that's-
people ask me, "Oh, is that the key to your heart?" And I'm like, "No, mine is fingerprint." But yeah, but I've always had it, and I lost it for a really long time. And when I moved here, I guess my abuelita found it again, and she sent it to me, and I was so happy to see it again, even though it doesn't mean anything to me. Like, it doesn't
You
mean
think.
anything.
Oh,
Like
It
you
just
could be
means-
in a session with
Yeah.
me and I can see that. And I'll
Yeah.
be like, oh, it's really interesting that you're wearing a key. Are you familiar with what the key means? So psychologically, you might always, and then you'll tell me the story about how it was found, how it was lost. I might say, oh, what was going on in your life when you lost it? Whatever, I'm just saying that could unfold in a session when you notice something that the client is wearing. Remember, nothing doesn't have a meaning. Everything has a meaning.
For the keywords, I put control when I think of key. Like
Okay.
I control what comes in, what goes out.
Okay.
So I guess me having that key, I have that control that I had when I was a kid.
Okay.
And I decided when I would play, when I would watch TV.
And you can ask the client, what does that mean to you? And let the client define the symbol. I asked you guys. Some said it. No one said exit. No one said leaving.
Oh, you do pick up your keys when you're leaving. I'm like, who would say exit?
That's really ironic.
Ah.
You're leaving the house.
That's what I
You're
thought.
leaving in the car. No one
Yeah.
said that. It was all about coming in. But that's okay. You ask the client, what does this symbol mean to you? The minute you think of a symbol, or you see a symbol, or you connect with something in your room, or you connect to a word that they say, you can ask, and what does that mean to you? And is there a story? She has a story about it. And if I can see that in session, I'll be like, oh, I noticed that you're wearing a key. What does the key mean? And then she'll tell me about her abuelita and this and that, and control. Oh, so that person is feeling out of control. Or are you feeling in control now? And she might say, yes, because I have this job. And then you're going to pick up on the fact that she feels needed. Control might be when she feels needed. And she can choose when she plays with this child. She goes every day for 2 hours, right? She has a clear-cut time of play. Play is second chakra. Play is feeling birth, feeling alive. When you are with that child, you are feeling alive. That's why you don't think of suicide anymore. You're allowed to breathe. You're allowed to take up space because you're doing something purposeful. You see how all of that connects? A key could also be the key to the chastity belt.
Nah, that one's over.
But I'm saying if you ask the client. So get in the habit of symbols, and then I'll bring in the book and we'll look at one each day. And then in these books, there's like little anecdotes, there's stories. This one starts off that Jesus gives Peter the key to the kingdom of heaven. So if you're dealing with someone who's religious, or not, Bible is just another
book.
storybook. I mean, I use stories from the Bible all the
Another
time.
science fiction book.
It's just a book of stories. It's just another myth. That's what
It's a
all
horror
of this is.
story. I remember, I think it was like my first class here, or like my second, you made us go through a bunch of like pictures. And we were talking about the little, like, donde caminamos. And it
Oh,
was
the
like-
labyrinth.
Yeah, the labyrinth. And I have one which I have the picture of, but I don't have my phone, so it was the one with, it was an image of like a female, and I could tell it was a female because it had like, short hair. So she was kind of like, in a meditating pose, and then all the chakras were on her, like on the picture. And that's the one I identify myself with, because ever since I learned about, the chakras and this
Oh,
and
yeah,
that.
from that box.
Yes,
I remember,
from that
yes.
box.
You pulled it out. You were
That's
very
the one,
identified with
yeah.
that.
She made us go through all the pictures and pick the one that we would identify with, and that's the one I identified with because it was so simple. Like every other picture was like a bunch of lines and stuff, and that one was so simple and it was so basic and so like me that I just went like that, like kind of fast, and that's the one that
And
caught my
simple
eye.
and basic, those are words of understated elegance. So perhaps you don't want to make a big ruckus and be seen too much, but you like more simplistic things. You can ask the client, what is it about simplicity that you like? Why does simplicity make you feel safe?
Want to know a crazy story about
Now
that?
you've gotten a symbol from that client, a story, and you can ask questions from there. Yes.
I used to, when I was younger, I used to dress a lot, like in colors, like purple shorts with like green stuff, like yellow shoes. I love that. I don't know why. I used to love to dress like very colorful. And I went to un santero, which is the brujeria guy, like the voodoo guy, right? And he read me the caracoles, the shells. And he asked me, do you dress in very llamativo, like, you know, yeah. So I was like, yeah, I guess so. And he mentioned how I should stop that I should stop calling that attention on me by the way I dress, that I should dress more in like, you know, black and white and like brown. And I tell you, after that, I didn't even notice, but my entire wardrobe changed. I only have like one red blouse, and I've only wore it in Christmas Eve.
Did he tell you why?
He told me because I didn't want, like, I really didn't want to call that attention to me. Because by me bringing all these colors out, and I've always been like so white, so when I put like purple, like dark purple stuff, I would just like stand out, like neon green, that kind
But
of
did
shit. I
he
would
tell
just
you
stand
why
out.
you
He just
shouldn't?
said that I should be more like.
Okay, but could you see?
But he never, and I didn't like.
Do
I
you
didn't
see
believe
how
him.
harmful suggestion is? Why? I only see you dressed in gray, black, white. The other day you did have a colorful shirt on. I think it was a reddish one. Or it had no puntico.
Probably.
But for the most part, I see you in those neutral colors. Even the gift you gave me was all neutral colors.
Yeah.
That's suggestion, and we have to be very, very careful what we suggest to clients. Because clients are vulnerable. Clients are listening. Clients think that we're on a pedestal and we know stuff. They're in pain. There's no reason to not wear colors. Colors is life. Color is vibrance. That person harmed you.
Yeah. Now I feel comfortable. Like I can't. Even today, I was like, oh shit, I should wear my. It's kind of like this, but it has like a big, like, kind of like calling out, and it's like a beautiful red, kind of like that. So, and I was like, no, white. 'Cause and if you see me, like I will always wear black pants. Always. I don't.
So,
Girl, you
so
can't
there's
go
a
wrong.
change tomorrow, don't, and see what happens.
Or start with red nail polish.
Yeah.
That's another thing, gangaria, like stuff. Like I had a customer at my old job that he was Jamaican, and he brought me the most beautiful necklace handmade by his suegra, his mother-in-law, and they are beautiful. And I'm like, damn, I wish I could wear it, but I can't.
And that's all because you had a suggestion. And how old were you when you went to the Santero?
18.
18.
Wow.
Changed the course of her life in terms of how she will present herself in the world. The way that people dress in the world tell you a lot about themselves. So gangaria is like jewelry, like costume jewelry, gaudy. It could be gaudy, it could be big, it could be loud and colorful. Oftentimes, when you see people that wear a lot of that, what they're saying subconsciously is, I have a need to feel close to something. Something was taken from me, and I need to feel close. They want to be noticed. It's like the gaudy 24-hour flower arrangement. I need you to notice me. They're trying to call attention to themselves because there's something psychologically that was taken from them. When someone is in the grays, the blacks, the whites, or they don't wear any sort of jewelry, it doesn't mean that they can't wear color, but they tend to be understated, it tends to mean that they've had an aggression towards them and they don't want to be noticed. Those people tend to have more of a tendency to want to exhale rather than inhale because they don't want to be seen. Oftentimes, obesity You'll see someone who's obese because they don't want to be seen. They're very in the blacks and in, light colors, or they're trying to be ignored. But the way that they're seen is by putting on extra weight. And it's sort of like a conflict because they're saying, see me, but I'm afraid. So oftentimes there's fear.